Hey guys, what up? It's the Tominator, and today I wanted to briefly touch upon 5 times that the 5th place finisher at the Mr. Olympia arguably could have won the show. And let me stress this point right now that I say could have and arguably rather than should have and definitively, because in most cases I don't think that they actually deserve to win, but many fans do, and in any case, these outcomes are highly contentious and up for debate. Plus, I think the bottom line is that most of us would agree that 5th was simply too low a placing for the incredible physiques we're about to examine. So let's get started. We'll be going through this in chronological order, and as you can see, first up we've got Mike Mentzer in 1980. So this was the year that Arnold Schwarzenegger infamously came back from a 5-year hiatus and clinched an extremely controversial 7th Olympia title. He was noticeably off, and his legs were not nearly up to par. You can tell from higher quality pictures such as this that Mentzer had better conditioning with a harder, grainier look to his muscles. Normally, Arnold cannot be beaten in the side chest, but here I gotta say, Mentzer has taken it to the oak, and probably even comes out on top. The shoulder and forearms are clear wins for him, and he's even doing a better job displaying his calf. In the ab and thigh, Mentzer shows better balance and separation through the quad region. I also prefer his taper through the lats, and based on this shot, would award him this pose, no questions asked. From the back, though, it's certainly more up for debate, as Arnold's biceps, traps, and lower lats, the entire back really, plus the calves, all stand out more to me here than Mike's there in the middle. So the thing about this contest is that Arnold simply outsized everybody to such an extent that even though his legs were down and he wasn't in top shape, his mass, structure, and posing were arguably enough for him to prevail nonetheless. Certain pictures like this side relaxed comparison demonstrate Arnold's superior size and thickness. He's simply dwarfing the competition and making Mike look rather thin and flat through the chest. So while Mentzer was definitely more balanced, had better thighs, and overall conditioning, I wouldn't necessarily be so quick to crown him the champion. But surely, 5th place was a bogus call, and he had every right to be upset with that. Next up, we have Danny Padilla the very next year in 1981. I recently covered both of these contests in depth and at length, so if you're interested in hearing more about why both 1980 and 81 were such incredibly controversial decisions, I'll link to those videos at the end of this one. But suffice it to say that Padilla was absolutely shredded from head to toe and in probably the very best shape of his life at this Olympia. He's absolutely owning the side tricep here next to Franco Columbu and Tom Platz. I mean, the fullness of the bellies in his triceps and shoulders cannot be denied, and his midsection is easily the tightest as well. Danny might have been short and small of stature, but his symmetry and proportions were second to none that day. Add to that the best conditioning in the entire lineup, and a 5th place finish is downright insulting. Personally, I would have gone with Platz for all the extra mass that he carried and his unparalleled lower body. Those legs were hands down the best in the world at the time, and even the guys today would be hard-pressed to top him when it comes to the complete development of the lower body. Again, I think Platz fares better in certain shots where his mass allows him to dominate, such as we see here in the rear relaxed position. But in any case, Danny should have landed no lower than second, and you can definitely make a solid argument for him winning on the basis of his conditioning and aesthetics. Brutal Bertil Fox also fell victim to a controversial 5th place finish in 1983, despite packing insanely thick and dense muscularity through his arms, delts, and pecs. While he was never the best poser, for my money, he still had one of the best side triceps of all time. Just look at how massive his arm looks here. It's unreal, especially for the early 80s. He demolished everybody in poses like the most muscular and side chest with his unprecedented thickness. Both Lee Haney and Muhammad Makawe finished in front of him in 3rd and 2nd respectively, and looking at pictures like this, I'm not so sure that they deserve to. He just absolutely outmassed most of these guys from the front and side. Standing relaxed, it's difficult to fathom how Makawe managed to pull so far ahead of him. But then again, Makawe was always known for his amazing posing and the uncanny ability to hide his weak points and maximize his strengths while displaying his physique, so maybe that's what did it. Now, as much as I feel for Bertil Fox and can understand why many people say he got screwed this year, I don't think he deserved to beat Samir Bannout. The line of Lebanon was simply sharper and could not be touched from the back that year. Here's proof of that. Samir not only looks wider, thicker and more detailed through the back. He even looks bigger than Bertil now, which simply shouldn't happen given that Fox outweighed him by roughly 20 pounds at the same height of 5'8". Still, I wouldn't have had a problem whatsoever had Bertil been announced runner-up that year. Okay, so this next one is Shawn Ray in 1999, and admittedly, I'm reaching a little here on this one because I don't remember hearing anyone exactly clamoring for Shawn to have won this contest, but damn it, I wanted to find a fifth person to fill out this list, so this fits the bill close enough. But anyway, standing on his own, Shawn clearly possessed a Sandow-worthy physique. His posing routine was just immaculate, as was his conditioning, shape, and lines. Just look at that back, the total development, all that rich detail, and the crisp separation through the shoulders and arms is just awe-inspiring. Disregarding the size differential, the upper body seen here in this back double biceps could rival even the likes of Phil Heath today. He came in near his all-time heaviest this year at 215 pounds, but unfortunately it wasn't enough, as he was still severely undersized compared to the rest of the top six. The mass monster era was in full swing by this point, and anything shy of 240 pounds just couldn't cut it anymore. But plant him next to the bigger Kevin Levrone, Nasser El Somebody, and Flex Wheeler, and Shawn still manages to outdo them all in the conditioning aspect. His muscle was pure quality, whereas theirs is mainly just quantity. Of course, Ronnie Coleman was on another level at this moment in time, and I would never go so far as to suggest that Shawn Ray got robbed here, but certainly 5th place seems a little low for, in my opinion, one of the greatest and most pleasing physiques to ever grace the stage. And lastly, we have Gunter Schlierkamp in 2002. So this was potentially the German Giant's best year because he was huge and dialed in, and on the other hand, the reigning champion Ronnie Coleman brought probably the least impressive package we had ever witnessed during his reign. You can see here that Gunter was noticeably more defined than Ronnie, and combine that with his height advantage and a naturally larger frame, and Mr. Olympia should have been in some serious trouble. Of course, from the back, I don't think Ronnie would have had any problems, but from the front and side, he was vulnerable in 02. Gunter owned him this year in the quad department, and even upstairs, I'd say Ronnie is overmatched here in the hands-on hip. Ronnie also boasted a bit of an unsightly bubble gut this year and was holding too much water despite his smaller than usual size. Take any version of the most muscular and it's clear who comes out on top. Gunter was harder, larger, and just better here in the hands class most muscular in virtually every body part. It's no wonder then that the boos rained down when Gunter was announced in 5th. He clearly got robbed. This is one case, along with Danny Padilla in 1981, where the 5th place guy could have legitimately won the contest and nobody would have complained. A final telling point in Gunter's favor came less than 3 weeks later at the 2002 GNC Show of Strength, where he upset Big Ron. This was one of the only instances in history where a reigning Mr. O was defeated, and I think that the judges awarded him here to make up for their blunder at the Olympia, because Ronnie was actually in slightly better shape here, and the gap between the two had closed. But anyway, those are 5 notable examples where the IFBB judges clearly effed up and placed a bodybuilder who could have conceivably won the Olympia in a disappointing 5th. Alright, that's all for this one, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed, and let me know in the comments if there's any other examples I might have missed. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I'm the Tominator signing off, and I'll be back.